I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week, kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
The Golden Goose is back, and the basketball world can barely breathe. After weeks of silence and endless rumors, Caitlin Clark's injury status has been upgraded to a game-time decision, sending shockwaves through the WNBA. The Indiana Fever's franchise player, the league's undisputed ratings magnet, and the single most valuable figure in women's basketball is finally lacing up again.
Caitlin effing Clark is a game-time decision. She is a game-time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she is listed as questionable. But she is a game-time decision, apparently. Look, if we're going to be honest, no, she's a game-time.
When Clark steps back onto the floor, it's more than just a player returning from injury. It's the WNBA regaining its heartbeat. Without her, the league has limped along, watching ratings sink like a stone. But now, the cavalry is coming, and everyone knows the league's bottom line may rise or fall depending on what happens next.
Caitlin Clark may be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots around that.
Here's the hard truth nobody wants to say out loud. Before Clark's groin injury on July 15th, Fever games averaged a jaw-dropping 1.81 million viewers. Without her, that number collapsed to 847,000, a brutal 53% drop that hit the league like a freight train full of reality checks. And it's not just Indiana's games. National WNBA viewership across all broadcasts fell by 55% while Clark was sidelined. More than half the audience vanished because one player wasn't on the court. That's not just influence. That's economic dependency that would make any CEO sweat.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
Ticket sales told the same grim story. Fever games that averaged $137 per ticket with Clark suddenly dropped to $80. When the Chicago Sky faced Indiana without both Clark and Angel Reese, prices cratered from $86 to just $25. Premium matchups plunged from $210 to $95, and some teams that moved games to bigger arenas banking on Clark's draw were left holding the bag, like the Mystics, who saw prices fall from $41 to $14 after she was ruled out.
Fever Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the WNBA.
Sports economist Ryan Brewer projects Clark's economic impact at $1 billion this season. That's not hype. That's merchandising, tourism, broadcast deals, and cultural influence rolled into one. Her presence alone added an estimated $340 million to the Fever's value, transforming them from an afterthought into the WNBA's crown jewel.
I think we're on the verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because of somebody.
When Clark plays on the road, ticket prices spike an average of 140%, with resale prices topping $312. Of StubHub's 10 best-selling WNBA games this year, every single one featured the Fever. Merchandise sales have exploded. Dick's Sporting Goods reports a 233% jump, and Fanatics says WNBA gear sales are up 500%. Clark is a top 20 seller across all sports and ranked 6th in basketball, even against NBA stars. Her Nike deal? $28 million over 8 years, far more than her $76,535 WNBA salary.
Caitlin Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27% of the economic.
Her return couldn't come soon enough for the Fever. Since she went down, both backup point guards, Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson, suffered season-ending injuries, forcing the team to sign veteran Odyssey Sims to a hardship deal. The Fever have held a respectable 6-4 without Clark, with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston stepping up big. But everyone knows it's temporary. This team can survive without Clark, but they can't thrive, contend, or keep the massive audiences she brings.
Now, if you're wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA. 2014 All-Rookie Team. She's had some good seasons in here, folks. No, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back.
On Sue Bird's podcast, Clark admitted the mental toll of carrying an entire league's fortunes. She knows ratings and ticket sales nosedive when she's not on the floor. Her mom even texted her during this latest injury. You've taken so much time for everybody else. You have to take time for yourself now. But there's no easing back in no training camp. It's straight into Game 30, with the weight of the WNBA on her shoulders.
Being active and playing 4 games and then not, and not feeling the best, and then frustrated of how hard I worked in the off season, and then all I do is rehab and continue to do this process, and just trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where it's a little bit easier and you're very, very motivated and you're close to the finish line of getting back and being back, and then it's not like I have a training camp to build up to playing my first game again. It's no, you're tossed into Game 30. Go try to play well. It's hard.
When she does return, and all signs say it soon, expect chaos. The last time she came back, against the Liberty on June 14th, 2.8 million people tuned in, making it ABC's third most-watched WNBA game ever. Even without her, league viewership is up 21% this season, but everyone knows the real fireworks start when Clark's on the court. The Fever are currently 18-14 and fighting for playoff positioning, making her comeback perfectly timed.
Now, Caitlin Clark just helped deliver a major statement win. On Saturday, June 14, Caitlin Clark returned to the court for the Indiana Fever after missing 5 games due to a quad injury. The Indiana Fever handed the New York Liberty their first loss of the season, and Caitlin Clark was at the center of it. She made a return with force, leading the charge on both ends of the floor, and she came back in dominant fashion, putting up 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just shy of a 30-point triple-double in a 102-88 win over the New York Liberty. Now, even NBA's own LeBron James took notice, posting the CC effect.
The business boost will be massive. ESPN's WNBA ratings soared once Clark played, averaging 1.3 million viewers, 7% higher than already strong numbers. 21 of the 24 games that drew at least 1 million viewers last season featured her. With the WNBA's new $2.2 billion media deal coming in 2026, Clark is an investment anchor. Teams have even moved games to larger arenas just for her appearances.
Caitlin Clark continues to crush the viewership department and bring in those big ratings. This is from ESPN PR. This past Sunday, ABC aired another of its most watched WNBA games ever with the Indiana Fever's win over the Dallas Wings. It averaged 2.1 million viewers and peaked at 2.5 million viewers. WNBA on ESPN is up 7% from last season, man. What? The numbers are crazy. The numbers are crazy. She's a draw.
For the Fever, the urgency is real. With back-to-back number 1 picks in Boston and Clark, their championship window is now. The WNBA structure doesn't allow long dynasties, so they must strike while Clark's still on her rookie deal. She set the bar before the season. My expectation is for us to try to win a championship. This roster was built for that purpose.
Have not seen Caitlin Clark since the beginning of July. A lot of people have predicted for her to be out around the end of August, but this is a great update, saying that she could possibly play tomorrow, going up against Paige Beckers. Now, we know they have been having this crazy narrative about Paige and Caitlin, Paige being better. Everything will be put to bed tomorrow. I pray, Caitlin.
Clark's return is more than a basketball story. It's an existential one for the WNBA. Her absence proved the league isn't sharing collective success. It's riding the Caitlin Clark wave. If one injury can crash ratings, what happens in the future? Other players know her performance impacts their careers and salaries. She's coming back into a brutal schedule and top-tier competition, with every eye on whether she can reclaim her dominance.
2.1 million average viewers to watch the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, take on the Dallas Wings. ABC airs another of its most watched WNBA games ever. WNBA games ever. Ever. Ever, forever. ABC's 4th most watched WNBA game ever. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. This is more than most WNBA finals games, including last year.
Her impact extends far beyond sports economics. Clark has brought in fans who never watched women's basketball before. Her games sometimes even outdraw NBA playoff matchups. She's a cultural touchstone, setting attendance and TV records, drawing 1.3 million All-Star fan votes compared to just 96,000 2 years ago. The WNBA is about to get its golden goose back, and the whole sports world will be watching.